What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we got some brand new maps in the winter season of Splatoon 3, and the update dropped early, so we get to check out these maps and see what makes them good, what makes them bad, and all that in between. But today, I'm not really here for that. I'm here to look at the maps in general and talk about all the details added to them and what makes them so unique, and all the little secret hidden Easter eggs throughout each stage. And this could be a series if you guys really enjoy this, but today, we're only sticking with the first two stages of the winter themed season, and that is Brinewater Springs and Flounder Heights from Splatoon 1. We're gonna go through these, so if you guys really enjoyed this content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We'll talk about all the other stages in the game as well, because there's some really cool secrets and Easter eggs really in every stage. But let's dive into it. Starting with Brinewater Springs, this place is just one giant hot spring with a giant dojo and a little city nearby, which is also really cool because it has its own little markets as well. But you can see all of the hot water kind of everywhere. The spring is the entire stage, all the water is below you. No matter where you look, you can see the smoke rising from it. The first thing we can see at the start of the stage is a little steam house or yurt with, it seems like, a little jelly girl sitting there just kind of enjoying the view. She's just sitting there enjoying herself and just checking out the sights. You can also see a portrait on the inside that looks like two inkling squids. The top of the shack has some type of tarp, maybe to keep out water or sunlight, held down by rope, some sandbags, and rocks on top. You then can look at the little city nearby, and it's actually very pretty. It reminds me of Chinatown from New York, just a small little town away from the big city. And I love it. There's little market vendors everywhere, people walking around, putting their feet in water, and people just selling things, which is overall a really cool atmosphere. You can even see a little sign of some type of fish stew where you put your head through, but I don't know why you'd want to put your face in that part. Then we get to actually see a steam house slash yurt where we see some jellyfish just enjoying their time in there. This one's swinging his towel above his head, and the other one's just kind of chilling. It's really cool. There's even a little poster of how everything works. They remind me of the ghost from Pac-Man and also Q*bert for some reason with the mouth. I don't even know what they're supposed to be. I guess still jellyfish? I don't know. But you can also see the little hot coals that help to steam up the room. Above it, we can see a lot of posters and drawings of octopus. I don't know why. Maybe this whole place is themed after the octopus, but then again, the dojo has a giant picture of a squid, so what's the point? But even the map itself kind of looks like an octopus for this place. Of course, we can see the giant dojo, and just like we said in the trailer, it definitely resembles that of the Kraken from Splatoon 1. An absolutely amazing special that was a little too overpowered. We never saw it return. We can also see some people standing on the balcony, or some jellyfish technically. One's kind of reaching out like they're about to fall over, and the other two are just having a nice little conversation up there. There's also a spot where we see some advertising and also that ghost octopus thing again, and some more jellies chilling in the hot spring. We can see little water spouts coming out of a blowfish's mouth, and we can see a jelly kind of washing his pits there. Along the stage, you'll also find some little encased sections with that statue of the Kraken once again, and also some giant jugs, which could be the things that are piping in the hot water into the spring in the first place. Throughout the stage, you'll see some tiles with some flying fish on them, even though we've never really seen anything with flying fish in this game before. And of course, we have more advertisements on the opposite side as well. On the other side of the spring, we can see another water spout, but this time it's just pouring on top of this jelly's head, and he doesn't seem to hate it. In fact, they're just sitting there enjoying it. I don't know what's going on here. He's like drowning himself. The jellies beside him, though, are just casually chilling in the spring. And on the enemy side, instead of a type of yurt, we have some type of food store where this vendor is selling some type of different colored pockets. I don't know what those things are, but it looks good. I would take one. And looking in the background, we can once again see another type of vendor wearing the same type of clothes, selling something for their shop, and also that sign of that fish dude again, that once again, why would you want to put your face through the top of his head? On the enemy side, we have once again more octopus drawings and decorations everywhere in that same map. We also have this weird carving of some type of jellyfish figure. I don't know if this is like an important figure for the jellyfish, but yep, he's there if you want to check him out. But to reach the top part of the enemy base, of course, we need the zip caster to fly all the way up to the end to see this little shack again. This time it's a different jelly sitting there in the little cabana, and that same picture is still above them. Brinewater is really beautiful. It's actually probably one of my favorite looking stages of all time, but the stage design itself, as you can tell, isn't that great. It's wide open and snipers are going to have a field day, but that's for a different video. And next up we have Flounder Heights, a really unique stage from Splatoon 1 that actually takes the battle to some apartment buildings. Yeah, you're going up apartments fighting other Inklings and Octolings, which is really cool. But the stage itself is also extremely beautiful. You have a central park area that kind of wraps around the entire outside of the stage. You actually have cars and buses that drive down the street, and they don't just vanish when they go away. They actually wait until they're all the way around the buildings where it's kind of out of the player's view, where it looks like they actually are driving forever. I really like that. But this whole stage is just apartment buildings everywhere. There's little satellite dishes on the ends of them, probably to have their internet and cable connection, but there's just nothing but apartments, and each unit actually has numbers on them. For instance, the one on the right you can see says 6, and the one on the left says 3. Meanwhile, the one that we're actually fighting on is number 7, which I'll show you shortly. And also, I thought it was pretty funny, every now and then a big jelly will walk down the sidewalk. The beginning of the stage actually starts off on units number 6, and then we move into number 7 in the middle of the stage. In the background, we can see a jelly in the park trying to get something out of the vending machine with his weirdly long arms like they all have. And there's also a little area where you can just jump into a pool of water for some reason. Why is this there? I have absolutely no clue. This area has to be one of my favorites because it's just so funny. This jellyfish is trying to exit their apartment but doesn't see the clear glass door in front of them, and they just keep bumping into the door over and over again holding their head. It's actually cute but so funny. Here's another weird one. One of the buildings we see is a barbershop tied into the apartment complex, and you can see a lot of portraits on the right side of the wall. And if you'll notice, there's one that kind of looks like Captain Cuttlefish or some type of squid that was part of the war. You can look closely and see every now and then, and I mean every now and then, it was like once every 2 minutes, this little picture frame will shake a little bit. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's showing us that, yeah, it is a nod to Captain Cuttlefish or something, but it's the only one that will shake. We then can see a jellyfish waiting to get their hair done, but of course no one's near him. No one's in the room doing the hair at all. It's just the jellyfish sitting there. And also, is anybody going to notice that the jellyfish has no hair? Why is there a barbershop here? I thought this was pretty neat because there's even operation times and, you know, all types of information on the window and even a phone number you can call, which is so cool. Once again, here's the middle building and it's apartment section number 7. But what's really cool is with the new camera functionality, we can actually look at the top of the roofs as well, and we can see there's little green roofs where there's a garden and a couple of tables and an umbrella for the jellyfish to chill and relax. And here's one just kind of staring up at the sky. And yeah, the apartments even have security cameras. Moving on to the next roof, if you look at the top, you can see a jelly just kind of staring over the fence, looking through and probably watching the battles that take place. I like to add little story and lore to everything as well, and it's just like maybe these jelly chose to move here knowing that turf battles actually happen here. It's like a really cool part of the neighborhood that they can choose to live, and they watch turf battles and stuff, but they can't really leave the house maybe until the battle has ended, but they could also watch it out their windows and the tops of their roofs, which is really cool. Where you can climb up the back sides in the back alleyway, you can see some type of door, probably to some type of business that you cannot get into. And we have another rooftop where the jellyfish is dead? Probably not. He looks like he has his coffee, he had a long day, and is just kind of taking a nap. I think it looks like he's moving around, which is probably breathing, so they should be okay. Still, someone should go check on the little guy. The enemy side of the stage and their buildings are actually units number 3. And they also have this small little vent or garage. I don't know how this would be a garage because who the heck is pulling a car out of that? What's also really cool is from the middle units, the doors in order to enter those units are blocked off with these giant bags in order to, you know, deflect paint. That way, you know, these Inklings and Octolings can't just walk into someone's apartment when mid-battle. Now, with our side having a barbershop, the enemy side actually has a laundromat, and we'll get to that in a second, but you can see some magazines over here to the right. One has a jelly holding some type of volleyball, dodgeball or something, and like a graduation cap on his head. There's some food magazines and also a weird purple Octarian. I don't like that picture. But then we can see the jelly actually doing their laundry, taking out their dry clothes and putting it in his cart. Once again, they probably have to wait until the battle is completely over to take their clothes home. Also, don't think about bringing your weapons in here, because there are no weapons allowed. In the opposite unit, no one's bumping their head on the glass door, but instead, this jelly looks like he's checking the mail maybe, or getting some type of keys out of a box. Probably the mail though, and there's also a sticker on the door that says don't get your tentacle slapped into the door, because that could hurt. The last roof is kind of hard to show because it's so high up and there's giant fences blocking our view, but there's a jelly sitting all the way in the back at the table, and a little baby kid jelly just kind of hopping around and dancing around the grass, which is super cute. And then finally, there's a little park for all the jellies to play around on. There's a couple of kids with weird construction hats for some reason. I know they probably need helmets to play on some of this stuff if they're really young, but A construction hat is kind of funny to me. But there's also like little squid themed rides they can jump on, and also a starfish kind of spin contraption in the middle, which is pretty cool, and also one of the rides is shut down from the construction worker. And here's Big Boy again. But that is the entirety of Flounder Heights and Brinewater Springs. I love so much detail that's put into these stages, it really brings them to life. But what is your favorite stage of these two? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Splatoon 3, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.